Durdle Magic. Welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we are playing the last game of Jolrael, Mwonvuli, Recluse. Maybe I said it right this time. 1 green for legendary creature human, druid. Wow, misread that one. 1/2 whenever you draw your second card each turn. Create a 2/2 green cat creature token. 4 green until the end of your turn. Your creatures have power and toughness base equal to your hand size. Mulligan. Do we want a mulligan? Looking at our opening hand, we have a few things. I think we actually want to keep it because we can curve our commander, bestiary, vizier, see what's on top. It's like we're drawing an additional card. And I haven't gotten to play the Frostfang yet, so I think I want to keep this. Today we're going third, which means our opponent right at the top here is going to be Narset, Enlightened Master. Oh, well, what can you do? 3 blue, red, white for a legendary 3/2 human monk. First strike, hexproof. Whenever it attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast non-creature spells from among those without paying their mana cost. Windswept Heath into play. It's a hideaway land. What that means is it'll come into play. They'll look at the top 4 cards, exile 1 face down. Usually it's like underneath the card in paper, and the rest go on the bottom of the library. When they meet the requirement at the bottom here, white tap. You may play it without paying its mana cost if you attack with 3 or more creatures this turn. They are able then to cast it for free. Well, technically the white and tap. It also taps to add white. Our next opponent, who will hopefully be less scary, is Rakdos, Lord of Riots. I mean, it's technically less scary, right? Black, black, red, red for a legendary 6/6 demon. You can't cast this creature spell unless an opponent has bled this turn. Flying Trample. Creature spells you control cast 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. A dark ritual coming down for them after a luxury suite. So let's see what they do with it. Probably a mana rock, I'd wager. Could be another ritual or something. There's a Rakdos signet. They can also tap that to make another signet or a arcane signet come down. Ooh, nope. Just getting the signet down. That's pretty good ramp, though. Too bad they didn't have that follow-up, but Soul Ring would have been a little bit bad. Not for us against Rakdos necessarily, but for anything else. Our turn gets us a Rogue's Passage, but let's just go ahead, play a Forest, and be not as impressive, and pass it off to our opponents. Alright, so since the last game, I did not change this deck list at all. I wanted to see if we could get lands, ramp, things past 4 mana. Forced into play for our last opponent. Ghired, Conclave, Exile. A good and fairer deck you never did see. 2 green, white. 2/5, legendary creature, human shaman. When it enters the battlefield, you get a 4/4 green rhino buddy with trample. When it attacks, you populate. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking because there has to be some extra red in there somewhere. I had this deck for a little bit. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You can build it a little bit differently than other decks, but it's kind of all the same. I do enjoy that's the first 3-card legend off the world of Ravnica. We have an Inventor's Fair into play for Narset, so maybe it's going to be like a swords deck. I had a Narset deck, and I know some people laugh. Like, almost everyone laughs, but it was a fair Narset deck. There was no extra turns, no extra combats, none of those shenanigans. It was basically a Tron cast your stuff deck. Eidolon of the Great Revel down for the Rakdos player, so let's see what that does. That's probably going to hurt us if I remember correctly. Red, red for a 2/2, a spirit, by the way. Whenever a player casts a spell with a converted mana cost 3 or less, it deals 2 damage to that player. Okay, so it's the reverse of the one I was thinking of. We get land, Scavenger Grounds. Okay, deck, don't do me wrong here. Don't give me all the lands now. Let's go ahead, cast our commander, see if it doesn't die or something, and pass the turn to our opponents. We did take 2 from the Great Revel trigger, so not much we can do about that. Our commander is only a 2-drop. Mounted into play for the Ghired player. They are tapping it down. Hopefully it'll beat some nice fair magic out of Ghired. Narset and Rakdos have me mostly worried, but don't underestimate a Ghired deck. It can run you over in short order depending on the draws. Mikokoro, Center of the Sea. That's pretty interesting. Oh, we'll draw an extra card. That's nice. Too bad that wasn't on our turn. We get Tamir Sabertooth. Nice. Really hard to... Last I tried to buy one in paper anyway. That was kind of hard to do. Welding Jar, I haven't seen one of those in forever. It is. Sacrifice it for free. Cost 0. Regenerate target artifact. So that's pretty interesting. So I wonder if it's going to be like a Jeskai, artifacts deck, which I always thought should be a kind of commander that directly referenced that stuff. I mean, yes, you can use commanders for that. Where's the red, white, blue artifact commander? Makes sense to me. Rakdos has Rakdos mana. They'll probably just swing into someone and cast Rakdos, and then we're all in big poopy trouble. Torbran, Thane of Red Fell. That's gonna make casting Life Crasher's bestiary not the best ever. If you remember our deck list from the last video, We do have a lot of stuff at 3, 2, and 1. It's not more than half the deck, but it could cause some problems. We got Farce for our turn. So, alright, we did get Tailed Mirrored Sabertooth last turn, whatever. Let's go ahead and play the Bestiary. We'll be taking 4 with the trigger and the Torbon boost. Not the best, but you gotta play your deck, right? Bestiary into play, down to 34 life. Do have 7 cards in hand though, that'll be important for later, and let's pass it off to our opponents. Rakdos, probably becoming the arch enemy, so I'm not too worried about them just yet, although we are developing much more slowly than they are, and that's always problematic. Shiny Impetus. Okay, that's going to be pretty interesting. They'll take 4 damage for it, but Torbron will have to attack something that's not them. Shiny Impetus onto the Torbron, they have to attack the not Ghired player. I'm hoping they'll attack into the Narset player, being they're, playing Narset, and it's scary, potentially. Also, if you notice, this is the least green game we have been playing so far in this series. Padim, Console of Innovation. So, as an artifact commander, is Narset less or more scary than Brea? My feeling on it is less scary, but still potentially very dangerous. They also play Minamo, School at Water's Edge, 1 blue, untap target legendary permanent, or tap to add blue. I got one of those in my mystery booster box, so I was thrilled with that. Kamigawa was a set I came in at. I think it was the first one, and then just before Betrayers came out, so I have fond memories of that. I know not everyone does, but there you go. Exquisite Blood. Okay, we need some removal. Right quick. We still have the, I think, for disenchantment stuff, we have 8, last I counted. Alright, so let's see where these things are going. Rakdos on the attack. Torbron into Narset. We have the Great Revel into the Ghired player. They'll get a treasure token, that's not bad. So, Rakdos off to a great start. If you didn't see my booster box opening video for Jumpstart, I did get an Exquisite Blood. I don't particularly like the card because it's a 2-card combo with stuff, and that's not my favorite. But if you use it fairly, I don't care. But I did get one, haven't had one before, so that was a nice pull. We got some blood triggers. Alright, we get to scry one. That's going to be nice. Maybe get some lands out of the way. We are sitting at, we are sitting at a bunch of lands right now, potentially 7, just in the hand alone. Put on bomb, we get Runic Armasaur. Will that help us? Might help us against the artifact player. That's what I'm thinking so far, but let's go ahead, follow the plan for now. Let's get down Scavenger Ground. I don't know, what's least scary? Let's just do the forest. We could draw another card if we play the Runic Armasaur. That would give us a kitty to block with. I think let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, we'll take more damage, so that sucks. But what can you do? That'll be another 4. We'll be down to 30. There we go. They'll gain 4 life. Let's go ahead and pay for this so we can draw a card and get a kitty. Garrick's Uprising, that'll be good. And Runic Armasaur comes down. Alright, let's go ahead and attack the Rakdos player because nobody else can. Can we be the hero? Not at 1 damage, but we can try. Damage is good. 1 commander damage, yes. All we need now is 20 more turns of survival and hitting. Pass it off to the opponents. Land tax coming down for the Ghired player, that's kind of awkward in a deck that has green. Exquisite Blood triggering, we really need to draw removal for that, like really bad. Narset player in chat says they're just having a bunch of utility artifacts in the Narset deck. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I love Narset as a commander, but you slap her down the table and people murder you. And it's unfortunate because, not everyone's going to play, I'm going to ruin the next 15 minutes of your life by playing Solitaire. I had that with my Feather deck. Feather deck, it was Spellslinger, jank, goodness. Feather was one of my favorite characters out of the original books. If you haven't read those, they did have actual physical books back then in Ravnica 1 block. And I was thrilled when she came out, but I didn't run her the optimal way. The optimal way killed people really fast as like a Tron hard to kill general, and I always got nuked off the table, so rip my Feather deck. The memories were good ones. Ichor Wellspring into play for the Narset player. They're going to take another 4 damage. These are pretty interesting. I had a few in my Amanatu deck for a while. Still don't know if I want to put them back in or not. It's 2 when there's the battlefield, or it's put into graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Off to the Rakdos player's turn. I'm going to jump over to the deck real quick. I think I put in Skyreach and Mikokoro. Because I was looking at their Mikokoro. If they activate it, we'll get a card with the Runic Armasaur, and then we'll draw a second card, which gives us a cat. So a nice little bit of synergy there. Rakdos is casting Spell Shock. Okay. They're going to be taking 2 because Torbron doesn't hurt them. Whenever a player casts a spell, it deals 2 damage to that player. So, that's bad. That's super bad. I think next turn we'll have to do Auron Frostfang. And hit them with a bunch of stuff and draw cards. We really need to get to some enchantment removal. Ghired doesn't seem to really have any, and Narset's doing artifacts, so they probably won't have any either. When you build a deck, don't focus too much on what you want to do. It will need some supports. Removal, specifically. Rakdos tapping down, saying they're not going to do anything else this turn. I would say they're not a threat, but they are totally a threat. Rakdos is a tap step. Edelon going into the Ghired player. Torbran going into the Narset player. Showing impetus, the Ghired player will get a treasure token. Exquisite Blood triggers. Life is going to be gained. Damage. It was dealt. Rakdos becoming quickly out of reach for anybody. Gonna be a sad face. Wish we had some more life gain in the deck. We have like 1 or 2 sources, but nothing hefty. We get to scry. This might eventually save us, but let's go ahead and find out. We have an activation. Is it Mikokoro? Yeah, Mikokoro. We're gonna get a free kitty on top of all the things. I like it. Swiftfoot Boots. Okay. Great or good. So if we can get Psychosis Crawler and activate our commander, that could win us the game, although Rakdos is far out of the lead. We get a kitty. Bestiary triggers. Let's see what we need to scry away. Fierce Empath. That could get us a Kolga, but we have so much else we can do. I'd rather just straight up kill it and not have to go through all that stuff and cast it. So let's put it on bottom and see what we draw. We draw a Forest. Okay. Let's see. We're 1 mana short of doing anything cool with our commander. Because dealing, what would this be? 9 times 4 right now? Pretty good. Although we'd probably die in the retaliation. So let's go ahead and play the Frostfang. Get that going. We'll get some card draw off of it, which can be good. We're going to take Force from the Spell Shock because Torbran. They're going to gain 4 life with the Exquisite Blood. Bestiary with trigger, we cannot pay for it, so we will not. And I finally get to play this card in paper or online, first time ever. Maybe I'll add a sparkly to the video for it. Let's go to the attacks. Our attacking creatures will gain the Death Touch. They will be hitting the Rakdos player, and we will get to draw 2 cards. Nifty us. What this deck kind of needs at this point is a Force of Vigor. I do not currently have one in my collection. Sad face. But what can you do? Maybe add it later. Ooh, Endless Atlas. And Expedition Map. Okay. Pass it off to our opponents. We will have to discard. Let's go ahead and discard the Expedition Map. We are not hurting on lands right now. We need to discard 2 more. Let's get rid of Scavenger Grounds. It doesn't look like it's going to help us against anything at the moment. Do we have the card draw down? We only have the 1 engine out. Bestiary's out too. Mikokoro, I think we can get rid of the Endless Atlas. I want to keep the Great Good in case we get Psychosis. 2, the Ghired player's turn. Land tax triggers. Alright, a landed play for the Ghired player. They do have enough for Ghired, so that might be something they do. Ghired coming down, they'll take 4 damage from that Spell Shock. Spell Shock is only an older card. It has not yet been reprinted, and I don't know what the bridge is. I don't think that's Alliances. I think that was the flag. Ghired comes into play for that player. They'll get a Rhino Buddy. 4/4 green with trample in case you need to know. Ghired to the discard. Let's see what they discard. They do have 10 cards in hand and haven't been able to play much. Kozilek Butcher of Truth. You know, I honestly didn't see that coming. At all. They're also shuffling away some lands when that hits the graveyard and the trigger resolves. So I wonder if their hand is mostly just lands at this point. We are turn 5, so that doesn't make too much sense. They could, they missed the land drop then. Off to Narset's turn. I have to say that this is pretty much the fairest game of Magic I've played in a while so far. You know, it doesn't seem like we're down and out just yet. Rakdos is clearly ahead, 3 cards in hand for them. And if they want to, they could probably kill us as soon as they draw something nifty. But I'm not like hopeless about anything. I think there's still a way we can win this. Narset and Enlightened Master coming down. They'll take 4 damage from that Spell Shock as we do. You know, I mean, look at that guy's hair anyway. Exquisite Blood, they'll be gaining some life. So they do have first strike, so that's nice. Not going to do too much just yet. We're probably still all going to be taking a ton of damage. But let's see how it goes. We can't immediately die as the board stands. But Rakdos does have 3 cards in hand, will have 4 cards in hand, and bad things can happen. Swamp into play for the Rakdos player. 3 cards in hand, they did draw their other card. So, what will they do? That's 6 mana, 7 mana with the Signet. Pyrohemia. Okay. So, Lightning Bolt to everything, that's not good. And we have not drawn any of our removal for enchantments. I don't get the algorithm sometimes. I mean, it could be bad luck. The game's been better than the last time, but bad luck feels bad. Pyrohemia into play for the Rakdos player after resolution. They are tapping for 1 red. It's all they have left, but it will deal 3 damage. So each of us will take 3, the players. Then each creature will take 3. That means our cats are gone. Yep, there goes our commander. Exquisite Blood will trigger a bunch. I hate Exquisite Blood. We'll go ahead and put our commander back in the command zone. We also haven't drawn any of the recursion I've put in the deck, so that's a sad face. Pyrohemia, in case you don't know, is like Pestilence, and in case you don't know, that's the black version of this. 2 red for this enchantment. Red, it deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. With Torbran out, it deals the 3. Narset goes ahead and quits right there. That's unfortunate. Torbran coming into us. Not much of a choice there. So, I guess we'll just take the 6. I don't want to lose any of my creatures. Alright, we get to scry. Please be a disenchant or something kind, you know. Anything. Lignify. That will help a little bit. I think we'll go ahead and put Lignify on the bomb. I don't know that there's too much in the deck that helps us now. Wilderness Reclamation. Let's go ahead and play a land. I think we play Rogue's Passage. Let's play the Timur Sabertooth. Get that down. If we survive till next turn, we can get a trigger off Garrick's Uprising, so that'll be nice. We will not pay for the bestiary trigger. Alright, let's go to attacks. Attack into the Rakdos player. We'll get a card off of it. Their guy can't kill us, even with the damage boost, so that'll be nice. Alright, some enchantment removal. Let's go. Kenneth's Transformation. Okay. And Bonder's Enclave. Alright, well, I guess we're going to hit Torbran real quick. That way, at least he can't, you know, keep dealing the 3 damage to us. Might buy us a turn. So we'll be taking, 9 damage just to cast that. Ouch. And we go down to 5. We'll get a card out of it. Yippee. Not getting any of the removal, though. Jeez. Nissa, Vastward Seer to our hand. Let's pass it off to our opponent. Hope they have some enchantment removal. Between the 3 of us, you would think that some of us would. Alright, time to discard. What do I want to discard? I guess we'll discard Nissa. She's not going to do anything for us immediately. Off to the Ghired player's turn. Land tax will trigger. Ghired with land into play. Let's see what they cast. Tapping 5 mana. 6 mana, sorry. Savala's Stampede. Council's Dilemma, so we get to choose something cool. Starting with you, each player votes for wild or free. Reveal cards on the top of your library. Until you reveal a creature card for each wild vote, put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of your library. You may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield for each free vote. Alright, let's check the chat, see what they want us to do. Nothing in the chat. Alright, so, what do we want to choose? Rakdos player, apologizing for the exquisite blood enchantment. A recent addition, they said. Yeah, that's, it's super good, but that's also a reason I don't necessarily play it. I might put it in Lycia, Sanguine Tribune, though. Alright, so 1 vote for wild, 1 vote for free. Let's check the chat again, see what they might want us to do. Still nothing. So, to recap, wild, reveal to the top, put that creature into play, put the rest on bomb. Free is from their hand. I think I'm going to vote for free, see if they drop an Eldrazi. Warstorm Surge, Angelic Chorus coming out of the deck, it looks like. Oh no, sorry, from the hand. Daring King of Gildor coming down as well for them. So, yeah, if they have a turn to survive, they could maybe do something nifty. I don't know if they'll win, but they're certainly looking better than us at the moment. Ghired and the Rhino off into the Rakdos player. Ghired triggers, they'll get to populate an Angry Token. There's a Rhino. We're going into Rakdos, I wager. Angelic Chorus and Warstorm Surge trigger, they'll gain 4 life, and the creature enters the battlefield will deal damage to something. So let's see what they deal damage to with that. They deal 4 damage to the Rakdos player with the trigger off Warstorm Surge. Angelic Chorus just gaining them some life. Oh, they also had the Sylvan Library come down. Interesting. So we voted 3 times. There was 1 wild vote and 2 free votes. I still don't know how they got down to 4 permanents and 2 creatures. It doubled somehow. I don't understand how that happened. But it might be our salvation, at least for a turn or 2. Rakdos player taking a total of 14 damage for the turn. Off to their turn, they play a Tainted Peaks. They still have a lot of mana for that Pyrohemia, unfortunately, so... But Torbran won't be able to let it deal the extra damage, so that's nice. Torbran's still a 5/5, still very dangerous. Rakdos is Showstopper, huh? So that's the random board wipe one. When it enters the battlefield, flip a coin for each creature that isn't a Demon Devil or Imp. Destroy each of those creatures that comes up tails. It could actually be a fairly interesting deck, especially the new Devil guy. There's already been a bunch of nice demons. Imps, I don't know, but Stinkweed Imp is one of my favorite black cards of all time. There's the trigger. I wonder if they actually have to go through and flip for every single creature, or if it just does it automatically. Let's see if we survive with anything. Alright, so we lose our card draw snake guy. Sad face. We do get to keep a blocker up, though, which is fantastic, although the flying trampling guy will murder us. Rakdos tapping down the last of their mana, saying they're not going to do anything with it. Let's see if they go to combats. Torbran into us. They didn't have much of a choice. It is goaded with that impetus on it. We will have to block. Bestiary with trigger. Great Henge. Yeah, that's not happening. Let's go ahead and put that on bottom. And it's a forest. Deck/algorithm, why you do me so wrong? Looking at our hand, we really have nothing we can do. We're just going to take too much damage from the Spell Shock. And then Parahemi can kill us, but I guess we can try a Kingmake the Ghired player. Greater Good, we could get a few cards off of it. Nothing else is really going to do anything unless we risk the Vizier of the Menagerie. But even then, at that point, we're casting the same thing for the same amount of mana anyway. So let's go ahead and play the Forest. We have 7 mana total. We could Vizier of the Menagerie, Lifecaster's Bestiary, hope we have a 2-drop. But I'm thinking Greater Good's still the best option here, so let's go ahead and cast it. We're going to take 2. Let's go ahead. Sacrifice our Runic Armasaur. We're going to draw 2 cards and have to discard 3. Engulfing Slagworm and Myriad Landscape. So, nothing. Not even a little bit. That's super bad. I guess we might as well play Garruk's Uprising. We probably won't survive till the next turn, but you never know. Something good might happen. Alright, let's pass it off to our Ghired opponent. See if they can do anything about those enchantments, although I doubt it. Assemble the Legion, put a token into play. On the upkeep, Warstorm Surge gets the trigger. Angelic Chorus gets the trigger. Sylvan Library triggers. Ghired skipping through combat, going straight to the second main phase. Hopefully it's some kind of removal. Yeah, we have an Austere command. Let's see, destroy all creatures and destroy all creatures. So, there we go. All creatures go to the boom boom. We're saved for a turn, but we have no life gain, so until Spell Shock is gone, we can't do anything. Oh, Parahemi, I forgot about that part. So, if no creatures are controlled at the beginning of the end step, it's destroyed. Nice move. Still though, we can't cast anything. Ever. At all. So, what can you do? It is the Rakdos player's turn. Let's see what they're going to do with it. They didn't like that their Parahemia was destroyed. Mana Matrix. I haven't seen that before. Hold on a second here. 6 instant enchantment spells you cast cost up to 2 less to cast. I'm going to leave this up for a second. I didn't even know this card existed. Let's bask in its glory. Okay, enough of that. So, they'll take 2 damage from it. That's pretty interesting, though. That's a non-creature kind of prowess deck. Interesting. But it costing 6, though. Sulfuric Vortex. Dang. Alright, you're gonna die. 1 red. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player. Whenever a player would gain life, they don't gain any life instead. So, there we go. Well, we tried. The deck not giving us any enchantment removal. I'm going to go look at it. We're going to see maybe who wins this game. Ghired can do it. They have more cards than the Rakdos player, so they're also going to take a bunch of damage and can't heal off of it. So unless they draw an enchantment removal, they're going to die too. Sulfuric Vortex triggers on our upkeep, and we get the gobbled by the sulfur. There we go, -1. Sad face. All right, let's go take a look at our, just make sure I yield to the turn here so our opponents aren't waiting on us. Let's go take a look through the deck here. I'm going to count up the removal real quick for enchantments and artifacts. Give me a second. So here's the deck list. Including All Is Dust, we have 9 potential removals for enchantments and artifacts. That also includes things like Song of the Dryads and Beast Within that cover everything. So the fact that we didn't get any of those is, frankly, that's annoying. I figure you have a, what? It's almost a 1 in 10 chance? So what, 1 in 12? I don't know. I'll do the math later, but we didn't get 1. So I don't know if it's just the shuffler. I don't know if it's RNG. I don't know what it is, but sad face. Ghired coming down for the Ghired player. I kind of wish we could minimize our own screen. That'd be a nice little feature if you still want to watch, but I guess that really doesn't come up too much. They will attempt to gain some life. That's not going to happen, unfortunately, for them. Warstorm Surge will trigger, and Ghired will get another friendly neighborhood Rhino token. If nothing else changes, Ghired has this in the bag. Obviously, Rakdos player is going to draw some cards, but if they just stay static and just keep creating tokens and using Sylvan Library to get their best draws of the top 3, they're going to win if Rakdos draws nothing. So we'll have to wait and see. They can potentially do it before the Vortex gets everyone, so Rakdos tapping down everything, play to land for the turn, saying they are not a threat. Notably, their enchantments here, they won't deal damage on their turn for where they can summon Rakdos, so that does make it problematic for them. They can't even get down their commander, so they will need something else. Stacking out those Warstorm Surge triggers, those Angelic Chorus triggers. There we go. So again, no life gain, but Warstorm Surge will deal 3 damage to the Rakdos player, assuming they pick the Rakdos player. There's no other targets. It does say any target. So you can potentially just, pick your own guys for whatever reason. Stuffy Doll might work. Brass Chaunter. That's something to consider. Sylvan Library goes to the draw step, so it'll trigger there. Important distinction, triggers at the draw step. Plains into play for the Ghired player. When they attack, they'll get another 4/4 Rhino buddy. They do have 3 cards in hand. It looks like they are casting something. Heliod the Sun Crowned. Well, no lifelink for them. They'll have to be careful. They can't gain the life, so if they keep casting spells, they will eventually die. They're going to cast something else. Let's see what it is. Hopefully, it's a disenchant. Oh, it's the Frostfang. That's a nice card. Commander set only, I believe. I would think this would need a reprint. Could be good. Warstorm Surge triggered. They deal the 2 to the Rakdos player. It says the creature deals the combat damage, or the damage rather, to any target. So this thing, if it would have Death Touch naturally, it does not. It has to attack. Could potentially kill anything, so Acidic Slime in this slot would be good for that. All out attack into Rakdos, as you do. Ghired will trigger. I'm imagining it's going to be a Rhino. Hopefully there's no misclicks there. There's the Rhino. Off into the Rakdos player it goes. They get a Warstorm Surge trigger. The Angelic Chorus does not matter, as you know. That means, let's see, they will draw up to 7 cards. I'm sorry, I might have miscounted. I can't see the tokens. I think they'll actually draw 8 cards. All the Frostfang triggers. So hopefully they'll need to disenchant this, and then they can just get ahead on the life and ahead of Rakdos. The sooner they get that, the better. Exsanguinate wouldn't be bad either. Spell Shock would also help. I mean, if they just had a one-side board wipe for enchantments, would actually be great. I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I think they're all symmetrical. I'm sure there is one, though. I mean, there's what, 20,000 cards in Magic? No, Cycriff doesn't count. Wound Reflection. Oh! Oh, by the way, some Double Master spoilers. We have the white one and the blue one. Draw an extra card, gain double the life, stuff like that. Not looking forward to pulling those necessarily, but they could go in some decks. Assemble the Legion, making all the hasty boys. There's all the triggers. Stack clears up. Sylvan Library on the draw step. Doubling Season coming down for the Ghired player. That'll be pretty good on the offense, but they are going to be taking the 2 from Spell Shock and then 2 at the end of the turn from the Wound Reflection. They better not cast anything else. They could die on their next upkeep if they're not... Oh, Juniper Order Ranger. Alright, let's do the math. Maybe they have it. That'll be 2 1/1 counters on the Juniper Order Ranger. No haste, though. That'll be 2 Rhinos that are 5/5s, plus 2 4/4s. That's, what, 18, plus a Ghired, plus the tokens. They might have it. Let's wait and see. Yeah, it looks like they have it. This is exciting. This is exciting. Heavy stack of triggers. Juniper Ranger gonna make those Rhino buddies bigger. Warstorm Surge gonna hit him for 10. Yeah, Ghired has the game. Good job. I was afraid they're gonna lose it too. Rakdos player though, nice deck. Man, the Exquisite Blood really just, yeah, oof. Man, and our deck though, no enchantment removal. We have 9, including the Ola's Dust and the Song of the Dryads and the Beast Within. I don't know where any of it is. It didn't come up. The deck just either hates me or the algorithm is kind of wonky. I really wanted to try it again as it was to see if the algorithm would be fixed or something. Could also just be bad luck. There's no way to really tell. And boom! There it is, -19 to the Rakdos player. Look at that beautiful stack of draw triggers. Showing the hand, Luminous Broadmoth, Harmonize, Sacred Foundry Plains, all that jazz. Alright, good game to our opponents. I wish Narset had stuck around. I kind of wanted to see where that went. You don't see Narsets that are friendly all that often. To our deck. So, I made absolutely no changes. Like I said, I wanted to show it off again as it was. I don't know about how you guys feel about Magic Online. It's great. It's where you can play EDH. I just don't trust computer algorithms. I want the cards in my hand. Alright, story from last time. So, there was another YouTuber who had commented on how the algorithm seemed to be off, the shuffle was off, people were getting bad draws half the time, stuff like that. Somebody had commented on that, saying that computers don't make mistakes. You have no argument. I commented back saying that humans programmed the program. The algorithm will have human flaws in it regardless. And that while it's technically true that a computer can't make mistakes because it's just processes, if it can't emulate something that a human can do, and that's what it's supposed to achieve, is it not flawed in the first place? I had no retort after that, so I assume I won. I don't know about you guys. Again, I want the cards in my hands. I feel like that's always a fair shuffle. even if I have to do it a few times, even if it gives me bad luck. The algorithm has no input from me, so it just feels weird. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Cool Rakdos deck, cool Ghired deck. Sometimes you just gotta beat stuff down. Again, I wish the Narset player had stayed. I really love to see different takes on decks, because a lot of times you're just stuck. Somebody sits down with a Narset, or like I said, a Feather, or Gadwick the Wizards, or God forbid, Tulane, and you're just like, oh, I know exactly what I'm in for. Marin of Clan Neltoth, I'm looking at you. But if there's a novel build out there, I want to see that. I mean, they were probably going to lose, but hope that stuck around. Anyway, good game to our opponents. Like I keep saying, that was a fun game, even if we lost. Thanks for tuning into Durdle Magic. If you like the content you saw here today, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit that like button, and if you could be so kind, please share the video to anyone who you think might be interested. And remember, you can follow our posts at Facebook and at Twitter at DurdleMTG. We also post the video links there, so if that's more of your forum, Durdle around with us and enjoy some magic. Until then, see you around.